Whee! Uncharted Worlds, the ultimate toe. Ah ouais, faut explorer quoi, ok. Ah, Paragon, c'est gentil, et Renegade, c'est grosse connasse, c'est ça? Elle a un peu une tête de connasse quand même, ma Shepard. Comme moi. Froide, à l'extérieur. Bon, des conneries. Qu'est-ce que t'aurais fait toi? Ah, il m'aurait mis intimidation. C'est quoi ça? Mais j'ai jamais réussi à lift quelqu'un moi pour l'instant. Alors celui-là c'est celui que je viens de faire, c'est ça? Patchless. Mais je suis dans le système Artemis là, non? Ah oui, mais oui, ok. Hot and humid. I'm inevitable. J'ai pas fait celle-là. Mais elle est trop loin du soleil, celle-là. Ah ouais? Magna Colony Segna. Ah, il me met encore Ashley alors qu'elle est dead. À chaque fois, je me trompe. Eh, comment celle-là? Waouh! Stylé Shepard, mais allez. Allez, moche celle-là. Tant pis. Allez, c'est parti les gars.
Commander, I'm picking up some strange readings. Really strange, like off the damn charts. It looks like it's coming from an underground complex a few clicks away from the drop zone.
Et toutes ces portes là, c'est fermé ou... C'est pas des portes? C'est pas des portes.
My people have searched many generations for a world to call home. If we landed here, we'd just keep searching.
Oula! Putain, c'est... Ah, c'est là où il y a Dark Vador. Où sont-ils? En tout cas, il y a des méchants. On peut pas aller dans la lave. Je me demande ce que ça fait si on sort là-bas. Est-ce qu'on meurt immédiatement? truc là. C'est vraiment un gros truc. Ah. C'est ça. Je suis trop loin pour...
Only a fool punches a knapsack in the mouth. We should sneak around and pull its tail.
Ok Rex, je vais t'écouter. Ah. Merde, j'ai loupé. Je vais passer par là. C'est nouveau ça. Allez, on descend. On monte. Qu'est-ce qu'elle dit ? Ah, merci, j'ai pas vu.
Nothing but rocks, dirt, and lava. Reminds me of home.
Oula. Il faut qu'on avance avec la voiture. Y'a rien les gars. J'ai été surpris par mon lave-vin. Oh merde. Je fais n'importe quoi. Ouh, ah mince. C'était magnifique ça. Peut-être. Peut-être. J'ai cru dans un truc là. Là, je peux pas. Oui. Non, non, ça n'a pas marché. Ah, pardon.
Now is not the time. Hostile contact. All clear.
Il est où, Rex?
On me! Rally round!
Bah, il est où, Rex?
Finally some action.
Pourquoi il a pas suivi?
Negative contacts, Commander.
Il est mort?
To me!
moi je me disais bien aussi. Alors, t'es bloqué. Ah, elle est stylée, toi. Vous avez tous les deux des armures plutôt stylées. La mienne, elle est pour un.
Rally round!
Allez, Rex, tu viens cette fois? Oh là là, putain, c'est pas vrai. Petite seconde. Allez, on y va. Est-ce que tout le monde est là? Oui, les 3 boutons, ça va. 4. Attends, j'ai 4 mines. Ah, c'est cool ça. 4 grenades peut-être. Wouhou! Aïe aïe aïe.
Launch shields!
Attends, est-ce que... Fais péter un plomb. Qu'elle vienne sur ma tronche juste quand je suis en train de tirer. J'ai mis... Hop. Et tu l'as vu? Pourquoi tu tires? Ah, je suis... Pourquoi? Je suis bien placée, mais je peux pas tirer. Oula. Est-ce que la musique s'arrête parce que j'ai... Ah non, j'ai juste rangé mon flingue au bon moment. La classe. Oula. Oh, il y a une bête sur le... Ouais. Ah, je les aime pas ceux-là. Ouh, nom d'une pipe. À couvert, les gars, hein. Ah ouais, c'est bon. Couvert. Alors, barrière. Est-ce que je tente... Merde, c'est n'importe quoi. Ah merde, j'aurais pu Ouh, Attends, en fait, je sais pas ce que c'est ça. Ah non, j'avais pas vu. Oh là là, l'erreur. Merde, faut qu'on commence bien. qu'est-ce qu'il fout là, lui? Bah oui, oh là là, bah oui, oui. Ouais, ouais, c'est un peu le bordel. Mais reste pas... Putain, mais va là-bas, là. Voilà. Et... Ok. Une barrière, là. Oh, bordel. Oh, excellent. Dessus là. Ah, elle est morte. Non, c'est pas bon. Eh ben les gars, c'est pas facile hein. Mais on s'est bien démerdé. Ah,
after it was built.
Oh putain les gars, je vais mourir. Merde. Ah, poussez-vous. C'est quoi ce truc par terre là, on dirait? Ah oui. Il reste stoïque.
Hello? Could somebody help me?
Yes.
Can you hear me out there? I'm trapped. I need help. Are you real? Oh no, don't be stupid, Liara. Humans do not come here. You're hallucinating. And talking to yourself. Oh, goddess. I am going to die here.
I am real, and I'm getting you out of there.
You're oddly lucid for a hallucination. They don't usually claim to be real. Or do they? I guess I wouldn't know. I don't usually hallucinate. At least I don't think I do.
My name is Shepard. The Office of Special Tactics and Recon sent me.
A specter? That's good. What else would I conjure up? A protector figure, yes. Perfect. Comforting. Well, I'll play along. As you can see, I am trapped here. If you're as real as you claim, find a way to get me out.
We just need to figure some way past this energy field.
It's a Prothean barrier curtain. I knew it would keep me safe from the Geth. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please.
We'll find some way to help you.
Of course. What good is a hallucination if it can't offer false hope? Listen, if you're real, find some way past the barrier curtain. Find some way to deal with the Geth. Then use the control panel to release me. If you're not real, leave me alone. I'm tired of talking to myself.
You lead. I'll follow.
Let's get moving.
Oula. Ça s'est séquestré. Qu'est pas ça? Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Qu'est-ce que... Est-ce qu'il y a une logique? Non, t'as déjà fait ça. Attends. Ouh la vache. On n'est pas allé voir au fond quand même. Allez.
Now I am hallucinating that you are inside the tower. I must be getting worse. Earlier I even imagined I heard thunder.
We used the mining laser to bore through.
You bored through? You're real, aren't you? By the goddess, you're real! I'm sorry. I thought you were a hallucination. I thought I was going mad. Please get me out of here before more Geth show up.
Any idea how we get out of this place?
There is an elevator back in the center of the tower. At least I think it's an elevator. It should take us out of here. Come on! I still cannot believe all this. Why would the Geth come after me? Do you think Benezia's involved?
Seren's looking for the conduit. You're a Prothean expert. He probably wants you to help him find it.
The conduit? But I don't know.
What the hell was that?
These ruins are not stable. That mining laser must have triggered a seismic event. We have to hurry. The whole place is caving in.
Joker, get the Normandy airborne and lock in on my signal. On the double, mister!
Aye, aye, Commander. Secure and away. ETA 8 minutes.
He needs to move faster.
If I die in here, I'll kill him.
Ah bordel. Elle s'est posée juste sur le bord. Mais attends, c'est pas... Oh, il y a une
Brenda,
fête.
if you don't, that would be more fun.
In case you didn't notice, this place is falling apart.
Exhilarating, isn't it? Thanks for getting rid of those energy fields for us.
We don't have time to deal with this idiot. Charge!
Oh no.
I like your attitude.
On n'a pas le temps là de rester dans tous les sens. Ah.
Too close, Commander. 10 more seconds we would have been swimming in molten sulfur. The Normandy isn't equipped to land in exploding volcanoes. They tend to fry our sensors and melt our hull. Just for future reference.
We almost died out there, and your pilot is making jokes?
Sometimes Joker's a real ass. Just try to ignore him.
I see. It must be a human thing. I don't have a lot of experience dealing with your species, Commander. But I am grateful to you. You saved my life back there, and not just from the volcano. Those Geth would have killed me or dragged me off to Saren.
What did Saren want with you? Do you know something about the conduit?
Only that it was somehow connected to the Prothean extinction. That is my real area of expertise. I have spent the past 50 years trying to figure out what happened to them.
Attends, 50 years.
Just how old are you exactly?
I hate to admit it, but I am only 106.
You sure look good for your age. I mean, you don't look that old.
Oh là
A
là.
century may seem like a long time to a short-lived species like yours. But among the Asari, I am barely considered more than a child. That is why my research has not received the attention it deserves. Because of my youth, other Asari scholars tend to dismiss my theories on what happened to the Protheans.
They were wiped out by the Reapers, a race of sentient machines.
The Reapers? But I have never heard of. How do you know this? What evidence do you have?
There was a damaged Prothean beacon on Eden Prime. It burned a vision into my brain. I'm still trying to sort out what it all means.
Not to mention your little run-in with Sovereign. I'd call that definitive proof.
And then there's the cipher. I'm not sure what that other Asari did to you, but she did something.
Sovereign. The cipher. A Prothean beacon. I'm sorry, this is all a bit overwhelming. I need a moment to collect myself. I have spent most of my adult life investigating the Prothean extinction. Decades of intense academic study and field research. And for what? I never thought it would end like this. You show up and tell me all the answers just fell into your lap. It isn't fair. All those years wasted.
You can still help us, Liara. Saren's looking for the conduit. We need to find it first.
Yes, of course, you're right. We need to stop Saren. Commander, I would like to try something, with your permission, of course. You said you have visions from the beacon. Let me join my consciousness to yours. Maybe my knowledge of the Protheans can help clarify this vision.
Do it. Hurry. We don't have much time.
Relax, Commander. Embrace eternity. I never thought the images would be so intense. I need a moment to collect myself.
Did the vision make any sense to you?
It's a distress call. A message sent out across the Prothean Empire. A warning against the Reapers, but the warning came too late.
What about the conduit?
There were other images, locations, places I recognized from my research. Ilos! The conduit is on Ilos!
Ilos? Never heard of it.
I'm not surprised. Ilos is in a region of space accessible only through the Mu Relay. But the Mu Relay was lost thousands of years ago. Nobody knows where it is.
If nobody's ever been there, how did you recognize Ilos from my visions?
I recognized some of the landmarks from the photos and vids I had seen during my research. I know of Ilos, I just don't know where it is.
Attends, je sais pas.
I have the coordinates for the Mu Relay.
You do? But how? Never mind. If you take us to the Mu Relay, I can give the vectors to take us to Ilos.
The relay's in the Terminus systems. They're not fond of Alliance ships over there. Or Spectres.
The conduit's on Ilos. That's where Saren's heading. I plan to be waiting when he gets there.
Saren will have his whole fleet in orbit around Ilos. You will never make it down to the surface without reinforcements. You need to alert the Council. They will assemble a fleet to accompany you. Together you can... Oh... I am feeling a little faint all of a sudden.
When was the last time you ate? Or slept? Dr. Chakwa should take a look at you.
It is probably just mental exhaustion, coupled with the shock of discovering the Protheans' true fate. I need some time to process all this. Still, it could not hurt to be examined by a medical professional. It will give me the chance to think things over. Are we finished here, Commander?
We can talk again after you've seen the doctor. The rest of you, dismissed.
Oh, sexual tension.
Do you have some time to talk now, Commander?
Ah, j'aimerais trop faire un jeu parallèle où j'ai un peu chier tout le monde.
Let's hear it, Lieutenant. I'm always open to my officers.
We've played it pretty close to the book so far, but we're a long way from backup. We've got some tough calls to make. I'm just saying, try to leave yourself a way out. I've seen what cutting corners can do, and I'd hate to have that happen to you, Shepard. Commander.
This a personal observation, Caden?
Maybe that's not my place. I don't want to send any bad signals, Commander. Just, working on what I've picked up. You tell me if I'm going too far.
We haven't had much off-duty time to talk. You have an issue with how things are going?
I'm not questioning any decision you've made, Shepard. Let me be clear about that. It's just my experience that once someone lets something slide, it tends to pick up speed. You get my meaning?
No.
Alenko, if you have one failure, it's an inability to speak directly.
Sorry. I'm not looking to dump any baggage, Shepard. You know the records about the biotic training out on Jump Zero? They're all classified. Because the Alliance made mistakes. After first contact, Kinetics was set up to track Element Zero exposures and develop implants for humans. Once we had an embassy on the Citadel, Kinetics could bring in experts instead of taking it slow.
The only experts would have to be aliens.
Dead on. Turians, actually. That's why Kinetics kept it a secret. They were afraid of what people back home would think, asking the Turians for help when we just fought a war with them.
The Asari would have been more acceptable than the Turians.
Yes, but the company didn't go through the Citadel. It would have made Earth look weak, so they discreetly hired some Turian mercenaries.
I'm sure Kinetics did what they thought was best.
It wasn't best for us. They brought in an ex-military Turian named Commander Vernus. To introduce himself, he liked to say, "I was at the helm of the dreadnought that killed your father." I told him my dad wasn't in the war. He'd retired to Vancouver. My family had an inland home that matured to new beachfront. Vernus had it in for me after that. He cut corners, pushed hard. I mean, you either came out a Superman or a wreck. A lot of kids snapped. A few died. The point of all of this, I guess, is that when you cut corners, it's not always obvious who pays for it.
So why are you telling me this? Is there something I can do to help you get over it?
I'm 32, Shepard. You don't serve as long as I have without coming to terms with yourself. You also learn that if someone is special to you, you help them. Try to keep them from making mistakes.
Special, huh?
If I'm out of line, just say the word.
Now isn't the ideal time. But I want to talk about this, Kaidan.
I get you, Shepard. I don't make
I wanted to see how you're dealing with Ash's death.
Dealing, ma'am. Sorry for anything I said back there. Adrenaline.
I understand. I don't like losing people either.
I've served for years, but never lost a soldier under my command. Not to hostile action, anyway. If you don't mind my asking, how did you deal with the losses on Akuz?
It was my job to get everyone out safe. I failed. I vowed not to let that happen again. Same here. I'll remember her, and I'll do better for her.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do. Thanks for the advice, ma'am.
We'll talk later, Kaidan.
I'd like that.
Ah non, c'est pas ça.
Commander, how are you?
Why did you want to be a CSEC officer in the first place?
That's a good question. There were several reasons, I guess. Probably the same as most officers.
Mais on a déjà
I guess my father had
parlé de
something
ça,
to
non?
do with it, too. He was CSEC, one of the best. I grew up hearing about his accomplishments or seeing his picture on the vids after a big arrest. He's taking my resignation pretty hard.
That's tough. But you'd think he'd be impressed you're going after Saren.
My father's a C-Sec man to the bone. Do things right or don't do them at all, he says. He thinks I'm being too rash, too impatient. He's worried I'll become just like Saren. He actually talked me out of becoming a Spectre when I was younger, for the same reasons.
You were asked to be a Spectre?
Well, I was targeted as a possible Spectre candidate. Me and about 1,000 other Turian military recruits. I could have received special training, but my father didn't like it. He despises the Spectres. He hates the idea of someone having unlimited power with no accountability. He wouldn't like you, Commander. No offense.
Typical.
I suppose I can understand his concern.
You can. But Saren's not going to play by our rules, C-Sec's rules. If you want to nail Saren, you need to send someone who isn't restricted by policies and procedures.
You're a quick learner, Garrus. We'll beat him at his own game. It's the only way to stop someone like him.
I'm right behind you, Commander.
Mais... Ah oui. Putain. Ah oui, c'est pourquoi pas. Ah putain, j'ai du mal, hein.
You sacrificed much, Undermeyer. We have a kinship of loss. Captain Kira, he was a great man.
Shepard, I'm glad you're here.
Good to see you smiling again, so to speak.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Saren's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
You've still got a long way to go. You'll find something to take back.
Yes, but it cannot just be some derelict ship my people can use for salvage. It has to be more than that. There's a lot expected of me.
What's so special about you?
It's my father. He's the senior member of the Admiralty Board. He's one of only 5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet. My father is responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
So are you some kind of heir to the Quarian throne or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. My father's position isn't hereditary. I'll probably never serve on the Admiralty Board myself. Officially, I'm just the same as any other citizen. But it doesn't work that way in practice. People have always treated me differently because of who my father is.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
I guess I'm just tired of people judging me because of who my father is. Everyone's waiting for me to do something great on my pilgrimage. Something that will forever change our lives for the better.
Bah écoute, c'est ce qu'on est en train de faire, on est en
If
train
I
de sauver
don't,
l'univers.
it's like I failed. And that reflects
Tu
badly on
pourras
both me
ramener un
and
bout
my
de
father.
doigt de sa reine, par exemple.
The work you're doing here is more important than anything any Quarian's ever done before.
Yes, I know. But you have to understand Quarian culture. We're a very insular society. The events beyond the flotilla don't much matter to the average citizen. Our greatest dream is that one day we'll return to our homeworld and drive out the Geth. But even if we stop Saren, that's not going to happen. There's still millions of Geth behind the veil. Until they're gone, our exile will continue.
What would you need to bring back to make everyone happy?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into now are under Saren's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way of our mission, Shepard. First, we stop Saren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
What was your father like?
It wasn't easy growing up as the daughter of one of the Admiralty. Even before he joined the board, he was a prominent figure. People looked to him for leadership. He had to set an example, and he expected the same of his daughter. Plus, he was pretty strict, a military man through and through. He never allowed me to settle for anything less than excellence. As a kid, I sometimes felt like he was pushing me too hard. But now I'm old enough to appreciate what he taught me. The world doesn't owe us anything. If we want something in life, we have to earn it.
Where was your mother in all this?
Mother was around, but she always seemed to kind of blend into the background. Almost like she was overshadowed by my father. He tends to do that to people. She passed on about 5 years ago. Some airborne virus that swept through the fleet. Happens sometimes when the filters start to break down. I think my father took it pretty hard. After she was gone, he became even more focused on his work. I think that was his way of dealing with the grief.
Sounds like a tough upbringing. You don't resent your father at all?
Like I said, it wasn't easy. My father's not the kind of person you bond with, and he wasn't around all that much. Too busy. People counted on him, and he took his duties seriously. Even when he was around, he always seemed a bit distant, like his mind was always somewhere else. Come to think of it, I can't ever remember seeing him smile. Not once. It's like he was always weighed down by all that responsibility. I mean, I know he cares about me, but he never really showed it, not in the usual way. I guess the best thing I can say about my father is that I respect him.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything. People into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, they're affected. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exiled, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Je vais pas me faire une pote là si je lui réponds ça.
You got what you deserved.
Ah,
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so worked up. Most Quarians tend to have pretty strong opinions about the Geth.
I should go.
See you later.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Yeah, they tried the same with us, but we fought them off.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected. Every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Ok.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration.
How did you end up serving on an
I
alliance?
enlisted right out of med school. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wound. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
So am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers. But I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau. I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
You must enjoy something about it.
I love my work. Seeking out history's lost secrets has a special appeal for me. You were actually touched by working Prothean technology. That is why I find you so fascinating, Commander.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool. Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union.
The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood, though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face. It is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
How could anyone abandon their own child?
I cannot answer that. This is all speculation on my part. It is possible she wanted to be part of my life, but something happened to her before she had the chance. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
Benezia was swept up in events beyond her control and lost herself. She fell under the spell of indoctrination and became part of the very thing she wanted to stop. But I will remember and honor how she lived, not how she died. My mother was strong, kind, and beautiful, and now she is gone.
Are you gonna be okay?
You are kind to ask, Shepard. I do miss her, and I grieve for what happened to her. But I will not let my grief interfere with what we are trying to accomplish.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.